show you a really cute little thing you can make for your baby that you are due. Babies, when they're in utero, like to hold on to their umbilical cord, which of course is what's attaching them to their birthing parent. So here we have a little octopus. They use these in a lot of premature units to actually give comfort to the newborn babies, because they like to grab little tentacles and hold on, because it's very similar to the feel of their umbilical cord. So what I'm going to show you is how we can get from a spool of yarn to a little preppy octopus, or as we call it here, snagopus. You'll find the pattern at the end of the video. I am using 100% cotton worsted weight yarn and a 3.5mm crochet hook, and following US terminology in crochet. Snagopus is started by using a magic ring and then doing the single crochets into it and following the pattern all the way through. Things to be aware of is that there's not much give in the cotton yarn, so you have to be careful not to have too tight a tension, and also because it can split a bit, so you've got to be careful not to actually go through the thread rather than under or over the thread. Snagopus is worked in the round, so therefore you do not need to finish off each round by slip stitching and doing a chain stitch. You're just completely going round and round. Some people find it very useful to put a stitch marker in the first stitch of each round so they just know where they are. Whilst the design is still quite flat, it's a good idea right now just to give a bit of a pull to tighten up that initial magic ring. But there is no need to weave in the ends of your yarn at the beginning of your piece, because this is going to be sitting inside the stuffed snagopus by the end. The first 5 rounds of snagopus are all about increasing the diameter, give him a nice round tummy, and then you just do the same number of stitches in each round for the next few rounds. For the final few rounds of snagopus, it's all about decreasing down in the body, and it's done by decreasing single crochet stitches. There's a bit of a tip here to try and make it less bumpy. Just use the front loops of the previous single crochet stitch to decrease with, and that makes it look so much nicer. Once you've finished all the decreasing rounds, you'll end up with 8 stitches round in the bottom row. To create the 8 tentacles of snagopus, you need to slip stitch into each of the single crochet from the previous round, doing a number of chain stitches, and then you work back through the chain stitches doing 2 single crochets into each one, and thus creating that lovely spiral effect of the tentacles. By doing this in all of the 8 stitches of the previous round, you'll of course make 8 tentacles. Once the 8 tentacles are done, flip snagopus over to expose the bottom open end of the body and start stuffing with some wadding of your choice. A little tip I learned is I use the other end of my crochet hook to actually help stuff the stuffing inside the body. Once you have stuffed snagopus to the required firmness, then start running the leftover yarn around the base of the opening there and pull it together to create a nice firm closure. And as if by magic, you have one finished little snagopus ready to give to somebody who's just had a baby. As promised, here is the written pattern for you all. Enjoy making, and do embroider on some eyes should you wish, or leave free like I do.